Well, shares of Entertainment Property Trust, that's a REIT which owns and leases more than 100 megaplex movie theatres, that's also hitting a 52-week high this week. This as total movie ticket sales in the US are projected to end the year below last year, but there was really one bright spot, one that I personally love, and that is 3D. David Brain is CEO of Entertainment Property Trust, and he joins us now. David, great to have you on the show. Until this morning when I was reading through the notes, I honestly didn't really know anything about this sector, which makes me think, it's a very narrow sector. You probably don't have a whole lot of competitors. Is that the case?
That is absolutely the case. We almost have no competitors, particularly none that are dedicated the way we are in this sector, with the kind of specialized knowledge we bring to the transactions we enter into.
Who are your competitors then?
Well, they're probably the net lease REITs in general, like the guys that deal across a number of industry classes like Realty Income and National Retail Properties, maybe WP Carey. But these guys float in and out of some of our niches, and they only do transactions that are pretty shop-worn. They don't really do some of the stuff that's direct with the operators and some of the development transactions we do and we know of because we're dedicated to the category.
Let's talk about what's going on in the movie business. We're hearing reports that movie ticket sales year on year have been down, but 3D is really helping to make up the difference in terms of profits. What do you make of this trend?
Well, you have to remember always the ticket sales are estimated because there's no real hard count there, and people estimate it based on average ticket prices, and so it's a little bit of a guesstimate. What you can do is determine actual revenue. Revenue is reported because, again, the studios share in revenue, and so it has to be a very accurate count. And revenues are, they've upped around 1% to flat this year. That's good, with last year being up 10%, because this is an industry that tends to grow 3 to 5% a year on a compound basis. So to have a flat year following a 10% year growth is understandable. And yes, some of the premium pricing in the industry for some of the large format IMAX type presentations or 3D are supporting a growth in revenue, even if unit sales are down a little bit.
Do you feel that the craze in 3D will force a change in your business model at all, David?
No, really, the 3D is a matter of it's really a layering on, or it's a kind of an extra on top of digital conversion. The industry is in the midst of converting from an analog format to a digital format, and that digital format is going to enable Hollywood, just as it did with digital sound. Digital video will enable the industry to do some very unique, creative things. 3D is kind of one of the early toys of the industry, and it's been very well received. The customers, in fact, want to pay the premium and have the 3D experience. This is one of the unusual things in industry where the customer is disappointed if they can't pay the upcharge and have the best experience.
Right, absolutely. Now, you don't just do movie theatres. You're in water parks. You've got a winery asset as well. So my question here is, what will be your next asset diversification? Are you looking to acquire more assets?
Oh, we are definitely looking to acquire more assets. We have guidance out for about $300 million of asset acquisitions during 2011, on top of about a $3.5 billion balance sheet. Probably one of our highest growth areas we're buying and leasing back charter public schools, which we view again as a very unique niche business that we can specialize in, that other people really don't understand very well, yet is a very large playing field and a very high growth playing field. We already own about $220 million worth of charter public schools right now, and we've been in that business for a couple of years, and we think that'll be a big growth vehicle for the company.
Well, okay, that's going to be the big growth area, charter school assets. What do you think is lagging? What do you feel that you're going to focus less on next year?
Well, I think the less on one you touched on is the winery assets. Wine, as seen, we studied that industry before going into it 2-3 years ago, but it's seen really more volatility with the turbulent and tough economy than we anticipated, and we've seen more difficult situations there than we ever have in any of our other businesses. So that's something we'll probably be doing less of.
We all perhaps need to drink a bit more wine. David, thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.